Good evening. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine. I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be especially unpopular amongst women.
I'm Gray Mars. Break a record by being with 100 men in one day. And right after she was done, she recorded a documentary.
I'm a vegan weed. Call yourself fresh and wear the same weak ass turtleneck on every show. Goddamn. Then we got goddamn the Sudanese Sambo. Bruh, man.
And I'm Enzo. Bringing up in my lives is they're like, oh well, he's violating the Constitution by having a meme coin and him making money off it in office and everything like that. I was like, if that was the case, like there would be lawsuits up the ass and impeachment in court.
I'm skeptic. Like I always say, don't let anybody trample on your constitutional rights.
I'm Mia. That's not a correct power dynamic in my mind. Typically, the people that are trying to be removed are not in control. That's why they're easily being removed.
The government, states, they start putting these RICO acts on Diddy, all of these guys, and try to put it on these ongoing criminal organizations. I ain't never seen the government put a RICO act on the KKK.
Switch happened. Come on, man. You gotta acknowledge this. This is the problem that I have with elders like you, because you fail to acknowledge that this stuff has happened.
If we sit there and be old school, we gonna miss the boat. You know, a lot of this kids 19 years old buying houses with Bitcoin, buying Maserati.
Wow.
I think when it comes to the woman, if a man takes charge and he shows that he's logical,
same people. That's number two. That's all theater. This is WWF.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're gonna keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Enzo.
Oh, y'all want me to go first? Y'all want me to go next? I'm that Mexican Velma.
I'm Skeptic.
I'm Mia.
And tonight we have a very special guest, that Mexican Velma. I saw her on a live and I was like, oh, I got to bring her on. She was so good. Velma, let everybody know where they can find you, like on your platforms and everything. And if you could spell it out for me so I can put it in the chat too.
So I'm that Mexican Velma, just like how you said on the bottom, that Mexican Velma. I'm on TikTok. Go ahead and follow me, guys. I speak on immigration issues, brown issues, and every type of issue that you can possibly hear about nowadays.
Yeah, so guys, definitely, I need everybody. I'm going to start in the chat. Make sure you guys show her some love and some support. She's hanging out with us tonight, and we have a range of topics. I don't have an immigration issue tonight, Velma. Actually, well, we're going to talk about Venezuela, so there you go.
I mean, I don't mind, whatever, but thank you for having me on.
Yeah, and so, guys, we're going to get into a topic that's near and dear to Mia's heart. Mia is just So worried about this technology that's coming. I love me some Chat GPT, but Mia gonna break it down tonight why we should be concerned about the AI data centers. So Mia, I'm gonna let you go first, and then we'll play the first clip.
Hi guys, so this is going to be about AI and AI data centers. So a lot of people use ChatGPT, CapCut, all of these things. Gray and I have discussed my lack of AI usage. I'm not good with it and I refuse to do it, but it is encompassing all of our lives, day-to-day tasks. IBM actually just laid off over 6,000 HR employees specifically. So they just laid off 6,000 humans to reintegrate in that AI into their systems. So your HR is now going to be AI. And I actually had a former worker, HR worker from IBM reach out to me and talk to me a little bit about this. And she reaffirmed that's what they were doing. They're taking all of that money that they were paying these HR reps and they're investing it into AI. And it has been stated and multiple sources that over 20% of the United States workforce is actually going to be out of work within the next 18 months to 3 years due to AI. So if you work behind a computer, you're probably going to be out of a job because AI is coming for your job unless you're a master or PhD level engineer, which is what they need in order to keep writing this code. So unfortunately, if you have a bachelor's, you're probably not going to make the cut. There right now, all the HB1 visa people are PhD level. At this point in time, that is what they're looking for. And another scary thing is there are 5,000 data centers in the United States. 5,000. The average AI data center uses 300,000 gallons of fresh water every single day. So we're talking 1.5 billion gallons of fresh water is being used daily by these data centers. That doesn't include the formaldehyde, the fine particulates, or the nitrogen that is being emitted. So it's pretty scary. You guys can actually go on TikTok and type in Memphis, Tennessee Colossus project, which is what Grok is out of Memphis, Tennessee, and they're actually unaliving us, literally due to the bad air quality. They're coming up with acute COPD. So it's a big deal, and a lot of people don't quite get that.
Yeah, and the largest AI data center is in Memphis, Tennessee. So I have this clip that breaks it down. If you guys are watching, please hit the like button. Thank you so much for supporting tonight.
Welcome to an AI data center where you can hear this is loud right now and feel this can blow dry my hair. The power. The AI is in there. By 2028, data centers like this across the country could use 12% of all U.S. electricity, enough to power more than 55 million homes for a year. And yes, you are increasing that energy. Every time you hit enter on an AI prompt, it's routed through places like this. Okay, let's start with tracing this prompt. Create a video of a dancing steak. The moment you hit enter, that request gets routed to a place like this massive building I visited in Ashburn, Virginia, aka Data Center Alley. When your prompt arrives at the data center, it kicks off inference, the process where the model thinks and responds to your request. Rows of powerful GPUs generate your request, in this case, the dancing steak. Back to my question. How much energy am I using every time I make that single image or video? So I plugged in this handy power meter to the grill, cranked up the heat, and threw a pretty thin steak on. Oh yeah. If you're generating text, that could burn anywhere from 0.17 watt hours to 2 watt hours, equal to running this grill for about 4 seconds. Generating an image, add 1.7 watt hours. All that less than 10 seconds on the grill. But short videos can use far more power. In tests of various open source models, videos took anywhere between 20 watt hours and 110 watt hours. At 110 watt hours, one steamed electric grill steak about equal to one video generation. I wouldn't eat it, but my dog would. At 220 watt hours, it was looking much more edible. So 2 video generations equals 1 pretty good looking steak. That might not sound like much power until you consider the short film we made using Google VO and Runway. We generated 1,008-second 720p clips for our film. Going by these estimates, we might have used roughly 110,000 watt hours. That's enough to grill around 478 steaks. or power an average US home for 3.5 days. But energy isn't the only concern. Water is used in big quantities to cool these hot GPUs. So what did we learn here today? Certainly that AI and GPUs draw huge amounts of power. And as AI demand grows, so will the size and number of these data centers. We saw several new ones already under construction in Data Center Alley. But the big question, is it worth it? Is that one silly video worth the same energy it takes to make a meal or charge a laptop? But it's not all fun and viral videos. That big GPU cluster we saw, it belongs to Bristol Myers Squibb, and is being used to discover new drugs. Welcome to an AI data center, where you can hear
And I think the scariest part about it is the largest one is in Memphis, and they're concerned about cancer and other diseases that are going to come from it. Mia, is there anything else that you wanted to add before the panel goes next?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't, and a lot of people might know, but a lot of people, have you guys heard about Bill Gates buying all that farmland? Over all over the United States, Bill Gates and a lot of them are buying up all this farmland. Well, a lot of these farmlands actually have massive aquifers that they're next to, or they actually encompass. So they are I used to think they wanted to control the food supply, but it's actually not that. This is where they're putting the data centers. So they are literally sucking up all our fresh water to cool these machines. This is where they're putting all of their data centers. They're taking our farmland and they're taking our fresh water. And so many people don't quite realize that. And it's very, very scary to me. Ohio has a massive issue with this. Chicago is having issues. Texas is having issues. Over 4 million gallons were siphoned from their fresh water, concerning multiple small cities there. Memphis, Tennessee, acute COPD, respiratory cancer. People are literally dying in the backyard of Colossus, which is the largest data center, which is XAI, Elon Musk owns. And so many people aren't thinking about this. And, you're going to end up with a data center in your backyard at some point in time. So this is just food for thought when we think about AI. And I will leave you guys with this. Everybody needs to go online, Google AI 2027 and read that paper. Because that's a very important paper. It is from OpenAI, Meta, and all of these I guess godfathers of AI got together and they wrote this paper about the trajectory of AI. How are we going to go from primitive AI to AGI, which should scare all of us? Because once AI starts thinking for itself, then we got to figure out, is it working for us or is it working against us? Because once it starts that thinking, is it going to figure out we're the problem in this planet or what? So I'll leave you with that. It's a free paper. Everybody can view it. AI 2027, everybody needs to read it.
Velma, as the guest on our panel, what's your thoughts on the future of AI and where we're going as a world at this point?
Yeah, I think she hit it right on the nail, actually, because I was actually reading AI 2027, and they have this feature where you can listen to it, right? And you're reading along and all that stuff. And the moment I got to the 2027 part, I was like, what? Excuse me, because of that part that we're showing AI who we are in a sense. And then what if it decides to deceive us? You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, I believe that we're trying to play God. Because if we're trying to literally get where the water source is at, and where, how you said, right in back of our yard, what does that mean for us? You know what I'm saying? Now I'm thinking Wall-E, how Disney, it's a hypothetical. We live in a world that doesn't exist, all this stuff. But in reality, yeah. And you might tell me I'm a little cuckoo for my coconut, because, I am a coconut. I have had, sort of kind of dreams where it's like, what's going on here? It's kind of weird because it's here. It's already here. So I'm 100% go read it by 2050?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy iRobot. Just saying.
For real.
Just saying.
Gray, what's your thoughts?
I would basically say that you're never going to stop technology. It's too many people invested in this. The richest man in the world is invested in this. And the big thing is that this is going to be a bubble if they don't get a return on their investment. So we're never going to be able to stop it. People want this to happen. I worked in IT, wrote code and stuff like that. And so from my experience, I just feel like this wasn't even a Fortune 500 company. Like, even if you told corporations to stop, small businesses are going to do it regardless.
That's true. Enzo, are you worried about the future of AI?
Absolutely, I am. AI is a double-edged sword at the end of the day. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. The way that AI is going, I use AI quite frequently, or Perplexity, but I see it as, I don't really think it should be absolutely regulated, because it's going to, one, make our population a lot dumber, because you're not really doing research for yourself. You're just typing in whatever you want and it doing it that way for you. What I'm really scared of is not even that, is like how Velma said about the Wall-E thing. I'm going to tie it into with iRobot. We've already seen this movie. Elon Musk already made that robot Optimus, who eerily is the same, kind of looks exactly the same as the robot in iRobot. And Mia has said already to us about the one AI that refused to turn itself off. So we're going to mix those two together. We're literally going to get the movie iRobot, and we've already seen how this has ended. Obviously, we should do exactly the opposite of that. Then again, like Grace said, richest man in the world, Elon Musk, is invested into this. Every other company is investing into this. It's going to make them money because you can lay people off to do the same exact job. I agree with that part, because with the human aspect of it, you're going to get a lot more discrepancies versus a computer-based system that's going to be virtually zero. So it has its pros and its cons. The cons, or the pros, might outweigh to somebody else, to a business owner, to the government, to everybody. But citizens like us, I see that the cons are even worse.
Skeptic, do you think that you're going to be replaced by a robot?
So yeah, I'm going to school for cybersecurity and information technology. So I don't think I'm also being taught a little bit of script or whatever, but AI is kind of like a different factor. Like, AI is a monster of its own. I think that the thing with data, with when they have these data centers, regulation is a big issue. We should have regulations like the Biden administration had, so that they don't do these things. But Trump has, when he first came in, he had this action plan to allow AI to be deregulated. And therefore, they're doing the things that they're doing now, which is causing pollution and hurting the environment and everyone around them. So like what Gray was saying, like when it comes to tech, we're not going to stop the innovation of tech, right? And we don't want to fall behind other countries that are going to use their technology, are going to allow their, people to take advantage of it and kind of become smarter. You can't say that we're not smarter because of technology, because our phones have made us smarter. Now that we have phones than when we didn't have phones, I can, fact check something in seconds when I used to have to go get a book, go to the library, find what I'm looking for. So technology definitely makes us smarter. I think that regulation is the thing that we should be talking about. The fact that this administration is not focusing on putting regulation on these companies is the issue.
That's it. That's an interesting point to add about that, Skeptic. But speaking of regulation, we're going to go to the next topic of the night. Enzo brought this topic up to me, and we're going to be talking about something that came out this week about Destiny. So many people don't know who Destiny is, but once they see his face, they recognize him. And I don't think Ray wants us to do this story, but that's okay. Nevertheless, here is a clip of Destiny well, we're not on TikTok. Talking about the age of consent. Let me play the clip.
An important conversation. You don't think kids or not is an important conversation? What do you think the age of consent should be? If you want to be consistent, you don't think anything updates, just tell us what you think it should be. I think it should be at a developed age. What is a developed age? If you had to set a law for it, what would you set it? What would you set it about? It's a developed age. No, answer the question, you fucking pussy. Holy, you're such a cowardly. Stand up for what you believe in. If you actually are fucking Muslim, you're actually Islamic, then stand up for your fucking beliefs. Every other Muslim scholar online will do this. Do it. Stand tall on it. Don't act like a little here trying to grill fucking XQC on fucking modern meta ethics or whatever if you won't even answer basic questions about your worldview? What should the age of consent be?
You see how
you want to answer the question? You see how he's going to yap and not answer the question? I'm going to ask the same thing when you're done. Go ahead. What was the age?
I just told you at a developed age.
Sneeko thinks you should be able to 9-year-olds. That's what Sneeko thinks, and he won't answer that question honestly. Or he's going to have to give a different answer, in which case he's updated his morality, updated his views, and that's really uncomfortable for him. You don't have an answer to any of this, bro. Go back to that fucking corner in London where you're getting roasted by year one debaters on fucking Christianity. This is I don't know what the fuck you're doing in here. What do you?
So that clip is from YouTube. I'm pretty sure we're allowed to play it because it's on his page. But nevertheless, Enzo, let everybody know what's come out about Destiny, what we found out.
Destiny. Wonderful TikTok debater, wonderful YouTube debater that was crown jewel of the Unfuck America tour after Parker and Dean fell off. Which, I mean, this is nothing new, this case about Destiny. This case of Destiny has been going on for quite a while now. We're just now getting the info on it. It was all speculation before that he was talking to a minor. Funny thing to me is this. It's always the Democrats and the people on the left screaming the loudest about people being predators, people being P3DOs and touching children or talking to children. And like I keep saying, I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over. The ones that are screaming it the loudest are the ones that they're projecting everybody else, so nobody looks in their direction. Look at what he did in that video with Sneeko.
Yeah. I agree. And to give background before we all respond, there has been court documents that have come out that he was sending P to a little girl named Rose in April 2022. Rose has been identified and her birth date is October 2004. Rose was 17 years old at the time. Destiny admitted to court in sending it to her. And there's a court document here. I would pull it up, but I don't know if we'll be able to see it. But pretty much in the court document I'm looking at, it says the admissible evidence in the record demonstrates that the opposite. Bonnell transmitted the video on just one occasion, 6 months before effective date, therefore removing any purported federal jurisdiction. So basically 6 months before she turned 18, she was sharing it with him. This is very scary that now has come out. But it's very interesting that, he's the loudest voice and now this has come out. Kamal, what's your thoughts?
First of all, what's good with y'all? My bad, I was a little late. I was on another panel and that shit was going on forever and ever. Second of all, shout out to the chat. I see y'all in there. You feel me? Third of all, I ain't never heard Destiny curse before. He called him a bitch and a pussy. I was like, God damn, Destiny. Good Lord. And now I'm like hearing this from Destiny sending penis pics to a minor. What the hell? Like, I ain't gonna lie, this kind of blowing my mind right now because they prop up Destiny to be this angelic goody two shoes debating on the godliest side ever, and he's sending penis pics to minors. Talking with Sneeko. Sneeko ain't about shit either with his anti-black ass. F that guy. But back on Destiny though.
We've known that Sneeko was into the kids though. I mean, this is nothing new.
Sneeko into the...
Yeah, we'll get to that another night. I have to get facts on that. But yeah, there's rumors about him.
I didn't know that shit. Y'all blowing my mind right now. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It's something with all of these big streamers and these big YouTubers. Once they hit like a milestone, like 1 million subscribers or whatever, it's not even just like politics or whatever. It's everybody. Like within gaming, like I talk about this with my sister all the time. I'm like, what's with all of these streamers? Every time they get big, they're like, I've already become big. What do I do now? Touch a child. That's exactly what happens with all of them. It's weird.
Well, here's the thing. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Valma.
Well, let's just think about the, people that don't exist, the elitists. Whenever they get so much money, what happens? They get bored and then they end up doing some grotesque things and then we get adrenochrome. But that's another story for another day.
Gray, do you remember when we talked about academics, that story that we did on him? And the little boy. I mean, this is up the alley of it. So what's your response to the allegations against Destiny as he's one of the largest voices on the left?
Well, I only know who Destiny is from you and Kaizen. I do see that he's getting a lot of traction. I saw him on CNN. I don't think it necessarily affects the left. I feel like influencers have their own platform, and if you're not a politician, they're not going to like directly connect you to that. I think they're more like celebrities. So for me, this is affecting him and affecting his money. And as far as like these allegations, when these people get big, yeah, if you got skeletons in your closet, once you get big, it's gonna come back to haunt you, whether you did it last week or whether you did it 10 years ago.
I have a question. How
yeah,
old
go
is
ahead.
Destiny?
He's like around my
34.
age. Yeah, he's like 34, 35. Yeah, and
He's
also
young.
wait, before Skeptic and Mia respond, I have one more clip. It's very short of something he said. I just want to play it real quick.
Molest a child doesn't make you a pedophile. That's not.
Yes, it does. Yes, it.
If you just because you molest a child doesn't make you a pedophile. That's not.
Yes, it does.
Did you hear what he said?
No.
Yes.
Just because you molest a
No.
child doesn't make you a
No.
PDF.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. What kind
I
of
can't
what
make
what
this
what
up.
world is he? Well, then again, it's Destiny. What world is he living in?
Looney left.
Velma, before they go, you said you saw him at
Yeah, I saw him at America Fest.
Fest,
I was
yeah.
actually eating in the they had this like restaurant right in front, and they couldn't get in because their tickets. Charlie Kirk said no, and this is the thing, it's a private event. Charlie Kirk can say no if he wants to you because it's a private event. Now, if it was public, then I'd say, okay, it's for the public, right? But he denied it. Why? Because he knew, there was going to be some issues. So what did they do? They decided to get a fake name tag, whatever the hell they got to do to get in. And they got in.
They were kicking
No.
conservatives out.
He got in. He debated Dr.
No, he debated
Julio.
Myron Gaines.
But he also debated Myron Gaines because we saw him.
Okay, so we went with my group. We ended up going to this little Unfuck America tour thing with I think they had like this cardboard.
Saw him inside,
Yep.
Velma, he was debating Myron. When he debated Julio at Unf America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That's where we went to because we ended up going to like some event that they had, and they had like this cardboard thing going on, and they need deodorant. The left needs deodorant.
Are they stinking?
I mean, look, it was hot. It had rained. It was musty, and I mean, I'm just saying, I like showering. I love showers. I love water.
That Mexican Velma, I ain't gonna let you talk about Gray like that, man. He don't be stinking.
Hold on, guys. Let Skeptic and Mia get a chance.
I'm gonna let Skeptic go first. Skeptic, what's your response to all of these allegations against Destiny? What do you think?
Well, number one, what he said is false. If you do that, you're literally the definition. You should be on a registry. However, I'll say this. I think it's hypocritical for the right to say anything for conservatives, Republicans, whatever you name yourself. It's a hypocrite stance to take to be like, oh my goodness, being that this man is on the e-files and those haven't been released. And this man was on the flight logs and all these things that we know to be true. And every time they ask this president about the E-man, he's like, why are we still talking about this man who was my best friend and I wrote letters to and said, we're going to keep the secret between you and me. So like, it's a little bit hypocritical for me to turn around and be like, oh, look at this man. However, I disagree, that he did this, and anyone who is attracted to children is sick. But yeah.
Can I respond to something real quick? It's not hypocritical whatsoever, Skeptic, when you have no evidence that he any wrongdoing at all.
We have no evidence.
Hold on. Let me finish. Skeptic, let me finish. Let me finish.
We have how
Can I
many
finish?
We have 20-something women saying that this man has groped them.
So I'm gonna crush you right now on this whole topic.
When I was 13, this man came at me. This man was held civilly liable for raping a woman. Right. There's no evidence. You're right.
There's no evidence.
that this man.
So
there's
listen,
no
here's the
evidence.
timeline.
Right.
Here's the timeline, right? So 86 they meet, right? They became friends. 92, he went to Marla Maples' wedding with Donald Trump. 93 to 97, he flew on Epstein's plane 6 times from PBI to Washington, D.C., as well as New York. 98, Epstein buys that plane. That card you want to talk about doesn't imply anything whatsoever. We don't even know if it's real or not. First off, 2004, he barred Jeffrey Epstein from Mar-a-Lago for stealing Virginia Robertson Guthrie, one of the most notorious victims of Jeffrey Epstein. And in her deposition for the Ghislaine Maxwell case, as well as the Epstein case, implicated Donald Trump has no wrongdoing, never went to the island, but she's named Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, Bill Gates, Prince Andrew, and nothing ever happened to them, right?
So that is false, actually. Actually, you just literally lied. You literally, no, because you're going to go on. You monologue for a very long time.
I don't care.
No, you monologue for a very long time. You actually just lied. No, you just lied. You literally, no, because you're lying in our face. Actually, Donald Trump was named on those files that were released after Giselle Maxwell. Yes, he was.
Really? So tell me where, because I have the files. I have the files.
Also, the fact that not only is it that him and Epstein were best friends, but it's the fact that he has groped other women, that he's been civilly liable for raping women, and he has no respect.
That proves nothing with the Epstein case.
Let me finish.
That proves nothing with children. No, I ain't gonna let you. Skeptic. No. I'm not gonna let you finish. I ain't letting you finish because you let nobody else fucking finish.
I'll say this.
You hypocritical on everything.
Skeptic, enough. Let Mia have a turn, please.
Oh my god.
I'm used to it. I got people screaming on my live all the time.
All right.
Yeah, but we don't do this, guys. So like, let's all be respectful. Go
all right.
ahead,
So I know Destiny because he used to go on Fresh and Fit and try to defend Instagram sexual workers, and it's just interesting that you find some of the loudest people are the people committing these crimes. I'm not surprised at all. Like I said, hurt dogs holler, and he hollered the loudest. So I'm not surprised that he is doing atrocities at all whatsoever.
Yeah, for sure. Neither one of these people have been charged. So, I mean, that's basically where we're at. I think it's speculation with both people, right?
Right. All right, guys, we're going to switch gears here. Enough of the Epstein. I'm sick of the Epstein. Let's move on. All right, we're going to talk about Venezuela. Right now, there is speculation that we are potentially like inching towards possibly sending troops there. Let's watch this clip and we'll give reaction.
The Caribbean is heating up. The United States has dispatched 3 Aegis-class guided missile destroyers, USS Gravely, USS Jason Dunham, and USS Sampson, straight toward Venezuelan waters. Washington says it's about counter-narcotics, but critics see a show of force aimed squarely at Nicolas Maduro. At the White House, the rhetoric has turned incendiary. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt declared that President Trump will unleash every element of American power to crush cartels, and went further, branding Maduro's government not just illegitimate, but a narco-terror cartel.
With respect to Venezuela, President Trump has been very clear and consistent. He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice. The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco-terror cartel. In Maduro, it is the view of this administration, is not a legitimate president. He is a fugitive head of this cartel who has been indicted in the United States for trafficking drugs into the country.
Caracas hit back with defiance. Maduro, flanked by police and soldiers, announced 300 new peace quadrants, hybrid units of military, police, and civilians. Without naming U.S. warships, he invoked biblical imagery, casting Venezuela as David, preparing to strike back at America's Goliath.
The militia is integrated into all peace quadrants, term used by the government to refer to a security strategy coordinating security and communities. With a plan we are developing to activate the militia throughout the country, from north to south, from east to west. and all defensive capabilities so that no one will ever touch Venezuela.
Central to Maduro's response is the militia, a legacy of Hugo Chavez. He vowed millions of volunteers could be mobilized at a moment's notice, framing it as a patriotic shield to ensure that, in his words, no one will ever touch Venezuela. The optics could not be starker. Trump flexing naval muscle off Venezuela's shores, Maduro rallying grassroots militias at home. Both portray themselves as defenders, one of law and order, the other of sovereignty.
All right, Velma, this is your specialty topic. Probably you and Skeptic know the most. So John asked me, John is our mod. He said, what is the panel's thoughts on the U.S. entering Venezuela and Mexico to attack the cartel? Since Velma is here and she's Mexican, I'm curious on her thoughts. So Velma, have you been keeping up? They're saying that these ships are off the coast of Venezuela. What's your thoughts?
Do it. Might as well. Don't we want people to be in their country and stay in their country and make their country great again? Just like how we want Haiti to be great again. Just like how we want every, like, you know, the countries that all these people come from and that are, you know, seeking asylum. And when I see seeking asylum, most of these people aren't seeking asylum, like Trinidad. But anyways, I digress. With Mexico, yes, we do have a lot of cartel issues, and for our our president, not my president, but Sheinbaum. Sheinbaum got to you know, bend the knee, because it doesn't look good for her, and people in Mexico are waking up to the fact that they're literally about to be under a dictatorship by the cartel. It's been long overdue.
Skeptic, what's your thoughts? Are you concerned about us sending the troops in to go invade the two countries?
So I have like this theory, right? Which I have been talking about this for a long time. So the U.S. has this imperialistic way of controlling trade, right? I've talked about this before. So Latin America has a lot of countries that produce a lot of natural resources, oil, and a lot of other you know, products. So the U.S. has always had this ability to bully Latin American countries to do whatever they want them to do. But here recently, with the rise of BRICS, we have seen that Latin American countries have gained, you know, independence. And one of the things that they're arguing is sovereignty. Like, you can't come into my country. If you come into my country, that's an act of war. And so Mexico was the first one to be told you're going to be bombed because of cartels by Trump. And the Mexican government said, we are not asking you for help. We're not saying that we need help. You have no right as a country to come in and invade us. It would be an invasion. We are a sovereign country. We're asking for respect, and we will control our country in the way that we need to. When we look at Mexico's economy, the growth of Mexican economy has gone up exponentially. It has gone up because of their ally and their trade that they have developed with China. Not only has Mexico done this, but Venezuela has also done this. So Latin America, Brazil, you have other countries that are starting to cut ties. They don't need the U.S. as much. And therefore, the U.S. is losing their soft power. The reason why we've given rights to Venezuelans to come to America is because we had control. America's not being nice. They don't just give you something because they want to be nice to you. They do things because it gives them a type of power over your government. They have always kind of interjected themselves with Nicaragua whenever they had the uprise of like the, what was it, like Democrats or whatever in their own country that were like Republicans and Democrats. America backed up the political party that was going to benefit America. So like, it is a foreign type of fight that's being done. I think that this country, the U.S., is handling this very wrongly and trying to instigate the cartels to attack so they can then turn around and say, you see how violent they are? We have to step in and we have to take over their government. So I think it's like the countries are reacting in a way that I think isn't smart. And I think they have allies in a way that America doesn't. America has isolated themselves because of Trump. And these Latin American countries are talking with their allies about what if we get invaded. Venezuela is against the government that they have now. I'm not saying they're not corrupt, but when they saw that America was trying to show their teeth, is how they called it, enseñando los dientes. I heard the whole speech from
Maduro.
the guy, Maduro.
Mhm.
And here's the thing, the Venezuelan people were trying to stand up against them because I know that the cartels are involved in politics. Like, that's not even an argument, right? But the way that America's handling the situation, I think is not wise. And I think it's bringing Venezuelans together to come out. I want to say that it was like 4.5 million retired military men came out in case that America actually, set foot in Venezuela. So I think it's a very ignorant way of trying to handle it.
I mean, okay, so he had this illegal election, and I know it was illegal because I have family that live in Venezuela, and they've actually left Venezuela because of how rough it's getting. Mia, I know you keep up a lot with things that go on around the world. What's your thoughts on us going to Venezuela, and did you keep up with the most recent election there?
I didn't keep up with the most recent election. I concede that there are a lot of countries in South America and all over the world that are very corrupt. I mean, a lot of people in this country think our elections are corrupt. I mean, we have no room to talk at this point in time. I mean, everybody's election's corrupt. My biggest thing is I operate from an America First narrative. America First and what's best for us. What's best for us is to not stretch ourselves so thin when we have so much internal shit going on. We literally have children starving here, but somehow we're going to send 4,000 Marines to Venezuela. It just doesn't feel America First. To be honest, it feels... Oh, there we go. Always cut me off, Greg. Always cut me off.
It was me. I'm sorry. I was trying to
feels-
make my speech. I hit the wrong button.
It feels, you guys remember weapons of mass destruction after 9/11? It feels just like 9/11. They told us a lie. They said, oh, this is going on. This is going on. We need to go there. We need to save those people. Conveniently, there was all that oil out in the Middle East. Conveniently, Venezuela sits on 3 of the largest oil reserves on the planet. Conveniently, we need to go save them from their convenient dictatorship. Conveniently, we need to go and show a force. It's all convenient at this point in time. We need to stop propagating angry men. We have 3 generations of angry men in the Middle East. We're never going to have peace there. The last thing we need to do is go into South America and propagate more angry sons and daughters who are going to have children to hate us. It makes no sense from a geopolitical standpoint to lie, cheat, and steal. Invaded country, we don't plan on setting up bases there. We're going to go there. We're going to create 2 to 3 generations of people that hate us and more terrorists. What is wrong with this country? I don't get it. Why do we keep propagating hate and terror all over the world? I'm sorry, but I agree with Skeptic. It doesn't make sense. We need to stop propagating hate and generations of people that want to unalive Americans. And this is exactly what's going to happen if we go into Venezuela under the pretext of drug cartels when they sit on the largest oil reserves on the planet.
All right. So for someone that actually does keep up with geopolitics, the problem is their countries are corrupt. The drugs are funneling through, and the only way to stop it is by stopping the cartels. Enzo, what's your thoughts?
So this is a problem that we created at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s and 80s, I mean, we propped up these cartels in South America and helped them out through the most notorious one that we all know of was under Reagan, the Contra scandal.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started the war on drugs, which at this point you can just look back on and the drugs won. So with what Trump is doing with invading or threatening to invade Mexico as well as Venezuela to take out the cartels, I'm going to sit here and say, good, invade them. And anybody who stands against you stands with the cartels. Therefore, which the Alien Enemies Act, which they signed into law, or they signed, and the Supreme Court held up, anybody designated under the Alien Enemies Act is a T group sympathizer or a T group member at the end of the day. So if the Mexican and the Venezuelan government wants to back them up, then therefore you're designated as a T group. So let's actually have the war on drugs. Let's actually cut out the bullshit and say, oh, we're actually stopping the flow into the country. No, let's actually do it. Let's fight the people that are bringing it into our country. And yes, the whole argument is 90% of the drugs that come into America is brought over by American citizens. Yeah, but who's giving it to the American citizens? You don't talk about that. It's the cartels at the end. Who's the ones manufacturing these drugs? It's the cartels. So let's take out the cartels, actually stop the war on drugs. And I'm going to look at this as America first, because one of the biggest unalivers in America is drugs that flow through our southern and northern border, therefore unaliving American citizens. My approach, as well as Donald Trump's approach, is to cut that off altogether. I can care less about the implications on the oil or whatever. They could sell it as, oh, just going after the drugs. And if they actually cut that off, sure, cool, great. Take the oil after that. That's the spoils of war.
Kamal, what's your thoughts? The war on drugs was a havoc on the Black community. What do you think?
First of all, Enzo, that was funny as fuck. The drugs won. I will agree. Second, I wish you was an adult when Reagan was around. It could have, hey, the war on drugs is the cartels and them people over there, not the Black Americans over here that we ain't got no boats or no shit to get it over here. You feel me? But at this point, I'm kind of in limbo with this shit. Cause I'm for them going over there and fucking with the cartels and stopping all the fentanyl coming over here and shit like that. But in my heart, I don't want them to spend our tax-paying dollars because there is better things we could spend our tax-paying dollars on. That's just how, it's like I'm conflicted when it comes to this. Usually I'm not conflicted with things, but I am very much conflicted when it comes to this issue because I see the need to go over there to stop the source of certain drugs. Yeah, I said certain drugs. I didn't say all drugs. I said certain drugs. You feel me? Like the Fenty and all that. Yeah. But I also know that our tax dollars need to go to us in America because we got a lot of shit over here that's going wrong. This make me feel like, you know, a man, he start a family over here and that family like, you ain't about shit. And he like, okay, I'm gonna just go over here then. And then he just start another family knowing damn well his money needs to go to this first family and shit. Kind of feel like that. That's how I kind of feel about it. But I digress.
I'd rather the money go somewhere where we're going to do something rather than in Ukraine. I'd rather know where my money's going.
Or why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep doing that?
I agree with you 1,000%.
All right.
That's just me though, because
it's not about drugs. It's about going over and basically controlling countries. That's why Blackwater, now known as Constellas, is in Haiti. That's why they started talking about going to Venezuela, because now the U.S. has a private military, just like Russia, where they go into these countries, say, this is the reason we're coming in here, take control of the countries, and then the U.S. government gets paid on the back end. They just say drugs to get the population to agree with them doing this. But we basically have a private military, which is called Blackwater.
Okay, Mia, you can rebut now. I know you said you want to go because Gray needed to go.
So I guess the only rebuttal I have, and everybody's brought up fantastic points, I would say we're looking at it from two different aspects. Invading Venezuela is a top-down solution where really what we need to do is who is consuming the drugs? People. So it stands to reason that if we spend money on mental health treatment centers, getting people elevated and meeting their basic needs, they would no longer consume. I could be around a variety of drugs and not take anything because I'm not an addict. So it seems to reason that it makes more sense to bottom up. If we take care of the Americans, we make sure their needs are met. They are naturally not going to purchase the drugs. You know why? Because they're not consuming them, because they're clean, they're working, they have water, they have a roof, their children are set. They won't consume. So drugs will naturally stop coming over. So it doesn't make sense to destabilize normal people that are trying to survive at top down when we could fix Americans and go bottom up. is my
Well,
rebuttal.
I'm from Miami, Florida, okay? So I've lived around all these people coming through my whole life, okay? And I've lived around the amount of drugs that come through Miami. And let me tell you, you can send a addict to rehab, and if they don't want to change, they're not going to change. But what stops an addict is by limiting their intake, by limiting the drugs coming through, by stopping the crime, by cutting out the gangs. We are never going to clean up America until we help our neighbors. And everybody likes to say, oh, y'all don't want to help the people coming through, but we can't continue to be a refugee center and if we don't help our neighboring countries. I applaud President Trump for going after barbecue in Haiti. I applaud President Trump for going after Maduro and the fake illegal elections he did there, because those people, they don't want to be here, most of them. They want to be in their home country, and he's trying to clean up their home country. That's the reality.
Can I add this on here? The number 2 schmugs that the CTELs bring into America are cannabis, and the other one is like the candy.
Coke.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So the number 2 drugs that Americans are being unalived for are the Fetty Wap and opioids. The fact that we're making this whole invasion as if attacking the cartels, number one, these cartels are in the political realm of this country. So attacking the cartel is going to instigate them to attack you back. And now it gives you an excuse to come in and take over what? They have all of these resources, which is what the US wants. Like the fact that we sit here and say that the only reason why we're doing this is because of the American people is, again, I'm going to use this word, hypocritical, because we defunded those people. We defunded the people that need Medicaid and Medicare so that they can't go and get help, being in these facilities to rehabilitate themselves. So it's interesting that you say like, oh, we care about the people, but why don't you care about the people that are in the US? But you want to go out into these countries and you're not going to take over the CTELs. They're in the political realm of things. The majority of the schmugs that come to America come through what is it called? Like legal ports. They're coming in through the legal ports. You're not going to overtake the government of Venezuela. The government of the Venezuelan government is corrupt. By attacking the CTELs, what do you win out of the situation? What does that stop?
See, this is the thing. What about the people who, and I'm going to say whataboutisms because it is a whataboutism, all the people who came in underneath the Biden administration, you don't think that was an attack to us as America? As far as who's bringing in the drugs? Because they did. Many of the illegals were caught with drugs.
Who are the number 1 people that bring illegal drugs to America? Is it undocumented immigrants or is it U.S. citizens?
Could be both.
No, actually, by FBI
No, what do you mean? What do you mean? We have U.S. citizens here who have connections to them. You do know that, right?
Okay, so
we do have that because there's 2 different sides.
Okay, so let me respond real quick. So by FBI statistics, 80, I want to say it's high 80s, close to 90% of people that bring schmugs to America are U.S. citizens. You just kind of pivoted into illegal.
No, I didn't pivot because statistics change.
Illegal immigration.
Statistics change.
It's
both people.
We're talking about schmugs.
It's
here.
both people.
The people that are bringing
and I'm talking about illegal immigrants who came into the country, who literally flooded the country, and you're literally talking about safety here.
Okay, I'm talking about.
And like I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's American citizens. They work for the cartel. The cartels are the governments in these countries.
Again, okay, can I respond?
They are the governments in these countries. We should not be, I'm sorry, there should be no friendly play with the cartels because they're an illegitimate government. Like everyone says, they want to come to this country because it's safer and everything like that. Let's make their country safer so they can go home. So they don't have to come here illegally.
You know how many people have died because of political violence in Mexico, just so Shane Monk could get into presidency? Do you know how many people? Because how you stated that the cartels are in the political realm. Yes, they are. They will unalive. I'm on TikTok. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. They will, get rid of people who they want to get rid of just so they could be able to be in power. Okay. You do understand that, right?
Can I have the time to respond? Okay.
I mean, I think we've been letting you rebuttal and talk all the time. I've been quiet,
Yeah. So I want to say this. Number one, you brought up the illegal immigrants, which is why I was saying the statistics, because it was pivoting off of the schmug issue that we're having. Okay.
But I'm
So
telling
when
you the
we talk
truth,
about, so let me answer and then I'll let you talk. So when we talk about the schmug issue here in America,
Wow,
talking
hypocrite.
about undocumented immigrants, when we're talking about people that are bringing over schmugs, I'm giving you an FBI statistics. The majority of schmugs, I want to say it's in the high 90% that come into America, come through a legal port of entry into the US. Think about that. Legal port of entry into the US. When I'm talking about corrupt governments, I'm not talking about Mexico, I'm talking about Venezuela. If you want to talk about,
from the other sides
let
too.
me,
It doesn't
let me
have to
say
be a
this.
legal port of entry.
I'm gonna say this and then you can come in. When I talk about Shane Bong, she divorced her first husband because he was caught taking money from a corrupt group, political group, and she ended up getting a divorce over her first husband. So I don't have any proof. I don't know where you're getting your proof that people were unalive for her to go into politics. She has fought corruption, and one of the main things that she stands on is not taking money from CTELs and trying to stop the CTELs from coming to
So
America.
can you explain to
Whatever
me how her
it is
people are
that,
literally
again,
like protesting
I'm
against her?
I'm about to land my plane. I'm about to land my plane, and then you can come in. So so can I talk or
land your plane?
So when we talk about corruption in Venezuela, there are ties to that, to the guy that's like leading Venezuela, to CTELs. When it comes to Shane Bong, if the US is asking her to make deals with CTELs in order to bring down them bringing, schmugs to America, and she makes a deal and you turn around and call that corruption, how is she supposed to come to an agreement with CTELs if she can't make a deal with them for them to stop bringing schmugs to America?
See, well, that's the thing. She's already made a deal with them, and she's acting like she hasn't.
And what?
Why do you think? Why do you think her own people are literally protesting against her? They're waking up. They stopped her. I don't know if you've seen the video, but they stopped her right in her tracks. She had to get off of her nice car to speak to these people because they wanted her attention. And the reason why I bring up illegals is because it's both ways here. Doesn't have to be from an illegal port of entry. It could be under the bridge. It could be, I don't know, in Canada. It could be anywhere. They're coming in from everywhere. They're literally coming. There's another caravan coming. Did you know that?
Under Donald Trump? Under Donald J. Trump, there's a caravan coming.
There's another
when
caravan
like 90%,
coming, thinking that they're going to come through Mexico when Mexico literally closed their southern border. How come they can close their border but we can't? I wonder. That's kind of hypocritical, right?
Okay, can I respond to a few things or?
Yeah, Skeptic, let this be the last thing because we got to pivot out to the next
So
topic.
I'll say this. If there's issues in Mexico and they are upset with the president, it's not because of anything that she's done or because she's corrupt. I'd like to know what factual information we have to say that, because other than that, it's just somebody's opinion. But I will say this, they're upset because America is coming at Mexico in a way that, number one, is wrong. And it's like trying to basically go against their sovereignty. Mexico wants the president to stand up in a tougher way, and they feel like what she's doing to respond, she does like a briefing every morning to the Mexican people, and she explains to them what she's going to do. Mexicans are getting, again, I didn't interrupt you, so I'm going to finish my point if I can,
but this is the thing that you're kind of doing the same thing to me, so I kind of return energy to sender. So this is the thing.
I literally
yeah, okay,
waited
land your
until she
plane.
finished.
So because I got a rebuttal to that too. It's okay.
So can I finish or not? I'm gonna keep on getting interrupted.
All right, go ahead, Skeptic.
Okay, again, I'll start over. Anyway, she sits down in the morning and she does a briefing with the Mexican people to explain to them how it is that she's going to handle certain things. Tariffs was a big thing that the Mexican people didn't want to happen. They didn't want to agree to tariffs from Mexico because they understood that it was going to bring down trade. Mexico is America's #1 trading partner. So Mexico has a lot of American companies in Mexico, and the Mexican people would be devastated by tariffs because it would bring down, basically the amount of product coming from Mexico being sold in America. That's what tariffs does. So, she briefs her people on it. If there's an issue that Mexicans are having as of right now, it is that she's not being tough enough on America. It's not because of corruption. Again, I have seen no proof. I'd like to see proof on how it is that she's tied up to CTELs when she's coming up and trying to come with agreements for CTELs to stop bringing schmugs to America.
All right, guys. We're going to move on. It's been done. Let's move on, y'all. But thank you guys. I appreciate having two sides with Velma and Skeptic. I know that it's both y'all countries, and I know it can get very passionate. So thank you guys for that. We are going to shift gears here, and we're going to go to our next story of the night, and it has to do with censorship around the world. In particular, the latest country to add a crackdown is going to be Israel, because of the ongoing battle over there in the Middle East. Let me play the clip and then we can all respond. Guys, if you're watching, please hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching. Let's go.
The deception, the lies, the starved children, the pictures of starved children who turn out to have cerebral palsy or other congenital diseases that leave them emaciated. And Israel is, of course, accused of starving children, pretty much the way that in the Middle Ages Jews were accused of killing Christian children for their blood. So, what do you do against the lie that circles the earth 10 times before the truth has a chance to emerge? You have to shorten the war as speedily as possible. And frankly, we also have to do something about the algorithms and the social networks. This is a big challenge. I don't want to dismiss it. It's
So right now, there's a lot going on in the Middle East. I will say there's a lot of misinformation, I feel, on both sides. But right now, President Netanyahu says he is cracking down on censorship. What do we think of censorship, and is it coming to America? I mean, the reality is we are seeing severe censorship even on the TikTok. So we could all talk about our experiences on here. I'm going to let people from the right go first, since I think there is an attack for us on the right. We just lost our TikTok again. But nevertheless, Enzo, what do you think? I think you're like the most censored man here.
I'm still baffled by what Dickhead just said. Sorry, this is the views of me, not the panel. Israel, y'all can goodbye. Did he really just say that they didn't kill Christians at all when it's well documented that they slaughtered 30 million of them? You want to talk about censorship? Okay, cool. Rewrite history then, BB. When it comes down to censorship, there is no free speech in America if the Democrats don't agree with your message. And I'm probably one of the most censored people on this panel because of what I do on TikTok. Sorry to say it. You guys on the left can't handle facts at the end of the day. You want to come up with your alternative facts and say, oh, no, that's not true. That's not true. This data, that data. No, but the data literally speaks for itself. The facts speak for itself. I've proven wrong plenty of people on the left, and I have the sources to back all my claims up. So TikTok doesn't like that. TikTok doesn't like that, and a lot of other social media companies don't like that either. Most notoriously, the Biden administration, you want to talk about censorship and dictatorship. Let's talk about the Biden administration colluding with social media companies in 2020 to censor any narratives that were not conducive to their narrative. And there's a 573-page report that came out from the House Oversight Committee on what happened with C-19, as well as Mark Zuckerberg's personal letter that he sent out speaking about the Biden administration and him speaking in front of Congress too. So censorship is absolutely terrible. We're supposed to have free speech in America. If you don't agree with what people say, it's censored now. And I don't agree with it. What's going on in the world with Israel trying to censor anybody for anything just because they don't want the real narrative to get out there, when we're all smart enough, and this is probably the only thing we're all going to agree on with what I'm saying, what's really going on in Israel.
Mia, what's your thoughts on the censorship? Do you think that this is going to come to America best, being on how this is our #1 partner in the Middle East?
Yeah, so censorship should be, in my opinion, censorship should be illegal. However, obviously you're in private platforms. They're allowed to do whatever they want because they're private platforms. I will say anybody that says the right doesn't get censored is being very hypocritical. We get censored the most. We get doxxed the most. I mean, some of the biggest creators I know with millions of followers are right, and they get doxxed all the time. Even in the Black TikTok community, so many people get doxxed when they say, hey, we need family values, which somehow is super alt-right conservative, I guess. Censorship should be illegal, and honestly, Israel is cracking down because they know they're in the wrong, because other countries are coming out and recognizing Palestine as their own entity, and they're catching a lot of heat. However, a little random factoid, in 1929, the radio waves and the music release changed frequencies. And you know who the small hat people got to write the letter to the conference in 1929? Joseph Goebbels from Germany. The Israeli people got to write to him and said, hey, I need you to go talk at this music conference because we need the music frequencies to go from healing waves to what we have now. So in 1929, they changed the radio waves and the frequency. Anybody that's a music producer that's taken music history can tell you this. So in 1929, they got Joseph Goebbels to speak in front of all of these people to change the music waves. And then what do you know? We roll into World War II. So it's just interesting that Israel happens to be everywhere that bad stuff happens. And I'll land with that.
Oh, Lord, how do we follow up with that? I'm going to let Kamal go next. Kamal, what's your thoughts on the censorship?
I ain't gonna lie, today's episode real spicy. God dang.
But is it any spicier than the one you were on?
Exactly.
Yo, Kamal,
Exactly.
I'm looking
that Kamal represented the conservatives. Kamal is not a conservative. I can't believe they had you there. You were a conservative on that panel. Did you know that?
Look,
conservative now.
I may lean a little bit more conservative, but I am apolitical.
I know.
I'm noticing that. God damn. And look, this is second time today. I'm about to agree with Enzo. Man, am I turning to MAGA man? What the hell is going on?
Bro.
Come to the dark side. I've already converted. All right, listen. I already converted one liberal. I got one liberal onto MAGA now. Shout out to Sen.
Oh my goodness. But I will say, because being on the new party, I've been learning more about this issue. And bruh is talking out his ass. We see videos of children being starved out. That's why I'm like, damn, bro, out here telling a bold-faced fucking lie to us with a straight-ass face. I'm like, damn. But why should I be surprised? Shit, today we talked about Destiny showing penis pics and all time. Like, hey, I'm just not surprised no more at anything at this point.
Oh, no.
I'm just not surprised. Good Lord. Wow. But I am loving the spiciness on this panel today.
I'm not. We need to be
F all that. I'm loving it because we had a certain somebody on here saying, man, this was wrong with black people. We always arguing against each other and we doing this and doing that.
Who said that?
Who you?
The Kundanese.
Now, he literally said, all we do is black people, we argue. And right now, I'm seeing.
It's not blacks arguing right now.
Hey. I'm just saying. I'm gonna let somebody else speak, but I'm just sitting here taking notes.
Yo, side note, Kamal was on a panel with liberal whites tonight, and they all admitted that they like singing using the N-word. Did they not? Kamal, they all said they don't see it's wrong to use the N-word. I just want to point to everybody watching how evil some of these liberals are. I'm sorry, it's facts. They're the most racist ones, but we'll go back.
What'd you say? What was your response? I would have been like,
Kamal was mad. You could see his face.
I was listening a lot because a lot of the white liberals on there, and like it was like one black conservative on there that was kind of, but I was like, one of them was like, just say it with nobody around. I'm like, oh Lord. And she listened to Eminem. She was like, I know she be saying.
She's like, I do it when I'm by myself. I don't see what's wrong. Anyways, there was no censorship on that panel. Gray, what's your thoughts? What do you think about the censorship? Is it coming to a TikTok, YouTube, Instagram near you?
Well, of course, because it just happened today on the TikTok. And I think if more left-wing people like ran a TikTok like that, they might see what happens to people on the right. But the issue with the people on the right is that their side, it may not be a small content creator like someone that's just reacting to Nick Fuentes or reacting to Alex Jones. Those people shouldn't have to go through all that stuff. But people with these big platforms that just spread massive information, I understand why that happens. But yes, I do feel like it's unfair to just a smaller content creator, someone just trying to get monetized, trying to get by, compared to someone with a large platform.
Yeah. Before I let the ladies respond, I'm going to play this really quick. Megyn Kelly and MTG were on, and we'll react to it. Ties into this topic. Pretty much, Megyn Kelly brings up a good point that she feels like it's a lot of propaganda coming out of Palestine, and we do need to present both sides. So I'm going to play this clip real quick.
No, you have nothing against Israel.
Oh gosh, no.
Never mind Jews.
Yeah.
That's all a lie. But
right.
And I see the beatdowns coming.
Uh-huh.
Like you're not allowed. Like you have to stay right on this lily pad.
Yes.
And you cannot jump to another neighboring lily pad because it could take you all the way down the river away.
That's
so
right.
I'm very interested in this dynamic.
Yeah. Well, I find it fascinating that you're getting asked more and more and more. I've been asked more and more and more. Well, you're a person of very big influence. You've got a big voice. You've got a large audience. They also take a lot of influencers. They invite tons of influencers.
Many of whom have invited me. Like we're all going together. And will you come? Like they seem to be coming at me from a number of ways, which only really kind of raises my hackles. Like I'm not going. I'm going to stay right here. I can cover this conflict from here, and I don't wish to be wooed by any side. I actually don't wish to be
persuaded. Have you been invited by any other foreign country?
No.
Okay, that's the part, right? So we have tons of lobbyists foreign countries lobbyists that come to Washington, D.C. Pretty much every country has some sort of representative. They have an ambassador they send to Washington. It's naturally in their interest. We can understand that. They also are required to register under FARA. It's a law. They have to register as a foreign agent, a foreign lobbyist. That is required. It's extremely important. Here's the difference with AIPAC. AIPAC is not registered under FARA, under this law that requires anyone coming to lobby a member of Congress or a senator or department of the government and the federal government on behalf of another country. So AIPAC argues, but we're Americans. Yes, they are Americans, but they are coming to Congress and to the federal government asking on behalf of the country of Israel. And I fully agree with you, Megyn. We are not against Israel. We are all for their right to defend themselves, just as we are for any Jewish person on campus. Just as I think, we could talk about young white males in high school that are constantly getting beat up.
Yeah.
Guess what? They should have a right to defend themselves too, and people should stand up for them as well. We think anybody that is a victim should be able to defend themselves. However, Israel is the only country I know of that has some sort of incredible influence and control over nearly every single one of my colleagues. And it is, I don't know how to explain it.
I mean, I believe it just given the amount of reach out I've had in this position. And I don't vote on anything,
Yeah.
And if I had taken money, I could.
So pretty much that clip right there, people are turning on Megyn Kelly. They say she's now part of the woke right. However, I apologize, I didn't get the part, but pretty much she was saying that in her opinion, she's been like reporting on Israel for the Israel-Palestine issues for many years. And she feels that a lot of the things coming out of Palestine are propaganda. She thinks that they're the best PR people in the world. And she said that she'll be told the number and then she'll find out the number is really different. Velma, how I actually saw you was on the Opinionated Girls Live. And I do respect, even though we don't agree necessarily eye to eye on the whole issue, I do respect her because I feel like she's fighting for her people, and I get that. And it is very sad and disgusting what happened on October 7th. So I'll lead with that. What is your thoughts on that clip? Do you think that we should go in the direction of censorship, or should we allow free opinions regarding the issue?
Allow free opinions. I don't think that we should be stopping anybody from giving their own opinion. Now, what I saw as far as whenever Israel sent over, the rocket, whenever they're like ceasefire, and then Trump was like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I have to go back biblically, because the Israelite people were never an obedient people, ever. You got them going through the wilderness and they're like, oh my God, and you got Moses praying for them. You know what I mean? Like, hey, yo, dude, like, Lord, please help them. And then you got them doing all this over again. And it's a cycle, and it's a cycle, and it's a cycle. So in reality, yes, Israel is showing their hand, but Israel has enough power to defend themselves. Why should we keep funding something when people are in love with the government? They're not in love with their faith. You can go to Jerusalem and you can see all of these things. You can see where Jesus walked, and oh my goodness, this is where Jesus. Yeah, that's great. But do you really have to physically see it when the kingdom of heaven should be in you already? And that's where you have the difference of, okay, yes, I understand these are God's people, but at the same time, I have to see the reality of it. There's good and bad. There's good Jews and there's bad Jews.
Oof. Velma, I'm surprised to hear you say this. That's your homie. He was on her live.
Well, this is the thing.
She be
Me and
going
her,
hard, and I respect her. I do respect her.
we get
And I do
along, all
respect
that
her.
stuff. And she went over there, and we talked all that stuff, and she knows a lot.
Yes,
A
she
lot
does.
of things. And yeah, it's very sad what happened. I'm not for Hamas, but I
No.
believe that they can defend themselves if, they got that Krav Maga stuff going on. Yeah.
Damn it. All right, Velma, I wasn't expecting this. I'm like, oh man, should I do this topic? Like, I don't know how she
See,
gonna
and this
feel.
is the thing. I've gotten asked, because I wear a Jewish star with my cross, right?
Mhm.
And most people are like, well, why do you do that? Well, because here's the thing, Jesus was a Jew. Don't forget that Jesus still is a Jew. That doesn't mean that the people are not bad.
True.
Because Jesus was perfect. So that's why I wear it. And on top of that, people like controversy, all that stuff, people just get it. So yeah.
All right, skeptic. Should we be having the censorship? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think we're already having the censorship. Like, if we're honest, we've already seen students be deported because they spoke against Israel and said what's going on in Palestine is wrong, what's going on in Gaza. So I think the most important thing to understand is that we have an agreement with Israel where we're giving them billions of dollars, like 3 point something billions of dollars a year. Like, it's crazy the amount of money that we put into this country. And it's almost like they feel entitled, like America has to do this. I also think that the same argument that's made for like racism, it doesn't get applied when it comes to Israel for whatever the reason. Like, they say, oh, why don't we just forget about what happened here in America with Jim Crow? Well, we cannot forget what happened in the H cause. Like, we have to continuously talk about that. We have to continuously fund billions of dollars, but we can't pay reparations. Like, it's just kind of like a crazy double standard. And I think that the fact that we're even talking about freedom of speech, like that's even a question that we're giving them, this is crazy. Like, we don't hold the same standard that we do for another community for whatever the reason.
I fully agree with you. I think we found a topic we all agree on, guys. Like, whoa, let's go for the unity on the panel. All right, guys, it's gonna be the last fiery topic of the night. I'm gonna let Gray Mars and Kamal go first. Our FBAs on the panel, but nevertheless, are we erasing slavery? This is probably gonna be the spiciest one yet. I'm gonna start by playing this very first clip regarding the topic of the night. Okay, here we go.
And we want people to talk about it, including our museums. Why is he equating talking about slavery with woke?
Well, look, I think, let me just start this conversation by saying that my personal view is slavery was a reprehensible institution. I agree with your words that it was our original sin. We also fought a war to eradicate it and to get over it as a country. And that was a necessary thing that happened, and a lot of people died, and we did eradicate it, and that's a good thing. I think what he's asking is, in our museums, what defines us? Are we going to be defined by the worst moment or the worst institution or the worst mistake we ever made? Or are we going to be defined by what we've done moving forward to get over it and to become the greatest nation on the earth? My belief is that he wants to look at these museums, not because he wants to do away with the idea that slavery occurred, but that he wants to ask a very simple question. Are we going to present ourselves as being exceptional or not? And I think he believes there is an effort by some to continue to try to define us from our worst moment instead of to try to focus and define us based on our best moments, which started when we eradicated slavery and began to move forward as the light of the world. And
But
so
isn't
that's
that
what I
what
think.
makes museums
that's what makes us an exceptional nation, is because they tell the history and the story of our country, and therefore, you know, these horrible, horrific moments in our history. The original sin, as Abby talked about, when it comes to slavery, has, you know, we of course did eradicate it, but look where we've come today. And I think those museums, like to your point, make America exceptional, and in museums all around the world that document atrocities, whether it be, you know, from Nazi.
All right, guys. So we had to start swinging on the panel. Gray said this was the topic he is most interested in. I'm going to let him go first.
Well, what I'll say basically, like, white people are getting tired of being called racist. So I think Trump did run on racism. And if you want to call it reverse racism or whatever, he basically ran on, like, white people are sick of the guilt tripping. We're tired of hearing this. CRT here in Florida. So, like, I'm pretty sure we always hear black people talk about that uncomfortable situation when they will talk about slavery in school, but they don't talk about how white people feel about it. So Trump tapped into that, you know, white people are sick of hearing about the guilt tripping.
Yeah, but they don't teach slavery right in schools. Kamal, what do you think? Do you think that you were taught about slavery right in schools? Like, what do you think about what you were taught about it?
All I was taught was, hey, they brought some people over on some boats and y'all picked cotton. That was it. Then we just magically got out of slavery. Hey, one day the slave owners was like, we tired of y'all being slaves. We just gonna let y'all be free.
Yes.
That was it.
Or that they fought a war to end slavery. Like, that was the real reason, and not financial things, which is the truth about it.
Yeah, that was it. You feel me? This is my thing, right? First of all, how about we teach the slave revolts when we were whooping their ass? How about that? I like to see more stories like that. You think every slave was just sitting there like, oh, we love just being slaves. Oh, we're just gonna take. No, some of us like, man, fuck this. We're gonna whoop his ass. And if we die, we at least dying as a man or a woman, like Harriet Tubman. That's my thing. It's like, yeah, okay, the Smithsonian, they want to stop the slave. Okay, let's scratch that, redo, and let's have some more black empowerment. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm tired of learning about slavery where we getting our ass whooped and all types of shit, and then all of a sudden, the honky-nears, because that's what they were. Not all white folks is honkies, but they was some damn honkies. And they was the one day they saying, oh, we just got tired of the free labor and y'all picking cotton and blah, 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 blah. No, let's be real. Y'all seeing we was whooping ass, and it was like, God damn. And then the union was like,
saw what was happening in Jamaica, Kamal. Talk about that too. You got to note that too. They saw that they was going to take over Jamaica. I don't know if you know that. That's part of why slave was part of all of that. That's why slavery ended in Jamaica and the Caribbean, because of Britain got scared.
Yeah, they was revolting and shit. And then at the end of the day, the Union and the Confederates was fighting, right? The Union was like, hey, you Confederates making too much goddamn money. Hold on now. And Abraham Lincoln was like, look, I'm trying to keep the Union together. What happened? The Confederates, they was whooping the Union's ass, beating their ass. And then the Union, Abraham Lincoln was like, God damn, man, we getting our ass whooped. We need some help. They went over to us Black Americans, like, hey, can you help us out? Like, we need some help, man, for real. And we was like, all right, we want our freedom. We want a damn mule. We want 40 acres. And we want that $100 you said you wanted to give us. At first, I know the Union was like, can we just give you a mule? We got to really let y'all be free and give y'all money. Come on. We just sat back and watched them get their ass whooped some more. And they were like, you know what? Yeah, y'all could get y'all freedom, a mule, $100, all that shit. While they was talking to each other, hey, we not going to give them no goddamn $100 or a mule or that 40 acres. We give them the freedom, but all that other shit, we just not going to give it to them. We just don't keep saying, hey, we'll give it to you later. That's what happened. You feel me? I like to hear more stories like that when it comes to slavery and the Smithsonian shit. And at the end of the day, look, they already been teaching us slavery bullshit wise anyway. That's why we got to teach our own. That's just how I feel about it. But hey.
Mia, what do you think?
Nobody asked the Native Americans to get over what happened to them. Nobody asked the Jews to get over what happened to them. Nobody asked anybody else in this country, in our history, to get over something but us. Why are Black Americans the only ones that have to get over something? And when I say get over, I mean, nobody tells the Native Americans, you can't talk about that. We're pulling it out of school. We're doing this. Why is it always us? They make us the villain in the media. They make us the villain all the time. And now they don't even want to teach it adequately. Most people don't even, it would be different. Sorry, this is my puppy. It would be different if they taught history adequately. If they taught people like, oh, they were cutting our limbs off, they were gouging our eyes, and they were making lampshades out of us way before that ever happened to the Jews. Marie Laveau was doing that down in New Orleans. They were using us as alligator bait, which is incredibly uncomfortable, taking Black babies and throwing them into the water to get alligators. But they don't teach it adequately. I understand the largest immigration boom in America happened during the Reconstruction era. So we're thinking 1880s and forward. So the majority of Caucasian people or white people in this country had nothing to do with it. And I get that. And I can understand with them being uncomfortable with hearing about something that their family did not participate in. However, just because your family didn't participate in it doesn't mean my family has to stop talking about it. That's not fair to me. I don't think we should be erasing slavery. I'm not saying it has to be blasted everywhere. I don't agree with people saying slavery as a way to get one up on a Caucasian person or say, oh, that's the reason why my family's not doing well. No, babe, it's 2025. Your family's not doing well because they didn't apply themselves. However, at the same time, why should my family have to pretend that nothing happened to them to make your family more comfortable? That's not fair to me. We need to have a compromise somewhere. And I don't know quite where that looks like, but my family shouldn't have to be silent so your family can eat dinner comfortably.
So I'm going to play the next clip and then I'll let the rest of the panel respond. So this is the counter argument as to why it should be changed.
Which is very solemn, and I think we all understand that, and we are all looking for the common ground here. And so what I'm about to say, I don't mean in any way to negate that tone, but starting around 2011, 2012, sociologists started to notice a shift in white liberal opinion polling to where white progressives became more extreme in their views on race than Black and Hispanic Americans. And they called this, the sociologists did, called it the Great Awakening. And when they postulated, where did this come from? Why did white progressives suddenly start obsessing over race in a way that was actually far to the left of where Hispanic and Black Americans were on this issue? They found that the media had shifted radically how it talked about these issues. So for example, in 2010, the words white supremacy were mentioned 75 times in the Washington Post and the New York Times.
But the media is different from museums.
In 2020, the words white supremacy were mentioned 700 times in the Washington Post and the New York Times and 2,400 times in NPR. The word racism, 4,000 times in 2020. The words white and racial privilege from 2013 to 2019 grew by 1,500% in the New York Times and the Washington Post. And the word slavery itself exponentially skyrocketed as a percentage of words. I'm offering this only to suggest.
I understand. I'm just wondering what do you think is the problem with talking about slavery, white supremacy, racism, et cetera?
So the point I'm trying to make here is that liberals will say, well, this is a reflection of reality. But of course it isn't. This is a reflection of a newfound obsession that was driven by the media, and that doesn't reflect either the moral evil of these things or the historical accuracy.
I do want to dive into what you mean by that, because you say that you don't think it's a reflection of reality. Based on what?
Well,
based on the idea that those things don't exist, that white supremacy doesn't exist, racism doesn't exist, that we shouldn't be talking about it anymore?
Based on the idea, obviously all these things I think are evil, but there's not more slavery now to the tune of
but I think part of the problem.
1,500%. All right, so Enzo, as the Italian, I don't know, almost white person on the panel.
The resident white man on the panel for this. Spicy white.
Spicy white.
European.
what are your thoughts on her points? I mean, she brings up good things. I mean, the point is, I do think President Trump just wants it to be a more positive perspective. And can see that. But at the same time, can we erase history? What do you think?
No, from somebody who loves every aspect of the United States from the inception until we are now, we shouldn't be erasing history whatsoever. We should be teaching history the correct way. Because it's either we glorify one side or we demonize the other side. We never get in that middle and say, when it comes down to anything that's happened in American history, we don't look at it in an aspect of this is what happened the bad, this is what happened the good, and this is the middle ground that came out of this. We recognize the bad, we recognize the good, but this is how we got here today. And when it comes down to the Smithsonian, I can speak about when I went to DC and I went to the Smithsonian for the Holocaust and everything like that. I don't agree with how it's portrayed because it just shows American excellence in a time where the United States really didn't have that much to do with it. They pretty much, what I seen there was America stopped the Nazis, America stopped the Holocaust and everything like that. When you actually read the history about it, it's completely the opposite. The Americans barely had any hand in it. It was more the Russians. So they need to fix it all together with how they're teaching things. Schools absolutely do not teach the Civil War, slavery, and everything like that. And I don't care about people saying white guilt, white guilt, white guilt. At the end of the day, this is what happened in America. We should just learn from it so things like this don't happen again. Like, I didn't agree years ago with them taking down Confederate statues at all because yes, they were bad people. We acknowledge that. I'm not going to be ashamed by the Confederates and slavery and everything like that. I'm going to acknowledge that they are bad, but I'm going to sit here and say we need to learn about this so these extremes don't come about again. Because the second that you just wipe it away, like I used the example of Germany the other day, they don't teach what happened in the 40s. They're literally just like, oh, bad man came into power and this is what happened, but we're not going to talk about any of it. They're ashamed of their history. We shouldn't be ashamed of it. We need to teach it correctly. And that's it.
Angel, do you think we shaded you?
I didn't hear. There's two people at once.
Do you think we shaded you? Because there's some white tea person in the chat that says we clown on you. We don't treat you right.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Can I say
Go ahead.
It always surprises me when Enzo start talking about race, somebody in the chat starts saying, we're racist. Y'all biased. It never fails. Every time Enzo starts talking about race and he's talking about it logically, people in the chat just start saying bullshit. They just be in the chat, y'all a racist panel. Y'all are biased. Oh, he don't know what he talking about. I'm like, I don't know what it is. It's only when Enzo started talking about race. That shit is confusing as fuck to me.
That means we're doing something right, Kamal.
Correct.
That means we're doing something right.
That shit is crazy. And then I will have to say one last thing. I haven't had a chance to clown somebody in the chat. So now Zeno Gears X, you will be the lucky person. Said loser with the Cash App. The only loser is you letting your pet turtle give you a rim job. Now, anybody else could go talk. And there we go.
Velma, what's your thoughts on that clip? Do you believe that the woke left has taken over the conversation? Do you think that should be even a part of, changing the museum? Or do you think that Trump may have found something about the museum that he didn't like and now he's basically cracking down on the way they handle things?
Teach history the way it is, not the way that they want to paint everybody such a victim mentality. If it bleeds, then it leads. So if you continue to have, for example, the BLM, what's happening right now with the Hispanic community, it's the same thing, the same tactic. So honestly, talk about it, but at the same time, don't see yourself as a victim or part of like you're a victim. Because like Maya said, we live in 2025. Yes. But at the same time, you have to see that you've overcame where you're the victor. You're not the victim. That's all I have to say.
Skeptic, what's your thoughts?
I'm just gonna say the chat's going crazy right now.
Well, were you there that night with? Yeah. Remember that night with Castle when they're like reporting, mass reporting. Don't walk. Be careful when you walk to your car.
The chat, y'all are going crazy right now. Y'all got me rolling over here. I can't even pay attention. What was I gonna say? Somebody once said on a live, they were like, whoever has the power gets to manipulate history. So history has been manipulated. American history has already been manipulated. Someone was saying, we don't know about Nat Turner, who was he revolted and was unaliving YT people. So like, we don't hear about that. Gabriel Prosser, we don't hear about these, the people that were actually fighting. And again, were we winning? They would go into the woods and they would come out and they were like terrorizing the YT Southerners. So like, history has already been whitewashed. We haven't heard about how they were making furniture out of people, how they were unaliving children. Like, we don't hear these things. So what you see in these museums is the nice version of the history that happened. So it's crazy to me to hear them say, oh, we need to change it again, because I'm from the South and I heard the stories. And here's the thing. If you're from the South, and for all those people in the chat saying like, oh, it's been 200 years. Come on now. We have to be honest. We have to understand that Jim Crow happened. Segregation was still implemented in the South. When you have the great compromise between the Union, the Northerners, who again, were not here to do anything good for anyone who wasn't YT, but they were here trying to, make it fair for them because the South was making so much money because they had free labor. So when you have the great compromise after the Civil War, you see the Union go back up north, and then Jim Crow is implemented until the 1960s. So like, don't be disingenuous by saying like, oh, how does this still affect you? It does still affect the Black community because you had this terrorizing of the Black community until the 1960s. So like, get for real. But I think like going back and trying to change the history of it. Why isn't he talking about the H Museum that we have in America? Why doesn't he want to go in there and change some of those facts? You don't see him even worried about that. It's like he only wants to change these historical facts and take things out because they make America look bad. That's not even the real history of it. Like, we could really talk about the truth and America would look terrible. And it's not just America, it's Southern YT people. It was the YT people in the South that had to be a strategy for them to vote correctly, for them to hear dog whistles, for them to actually want to put a politician in office. Like, it's always been the same people that are the issue. And the fact that we want to sit there and act like we have to save their feelings because this is hurting their feelings, they're still among us. These racist people are still among us. The ones that carry their Confederate flags in the South. I'm from the South. I saw this. And they're like, oh, this is my heritage. Your heritage as a traitor to America? Like, what are we talking about here? So I think it's sickening to me to even see it. Also knowing that the actual history of it hasn't even been told. Like, that's the crazy part.
All right, guys, this was a great show. Thank you, Skeptic. That's very good way to close it out. We're going to start with our closing thoughts. I'm going to let our guest Velma go first. Velma, thank you so much for coming. Let us know where to find you and your closing thoughts.
Are you muted?
I'm over here talking by myself. Anyways, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm on TikTok. You guys can come on my live whenever you want, and it was great. I really liked it.
It was great. I would love to see you and Skeptic just get to debate. That was a really
it was fun. Really fun. She's a really good debater.
Oh yeah, Skeptic is the bomb.com. I gotta give Skeptic her flowers, even though I don't agree with her all the time. Skeptic, when we first found Skeptic, she was at 2,000-3,000. Now she got like 20,000 people. She's like,
see, but
really
that's good
up.
to find somebody else with a different perspective, because a lot of people are like, I just only want to be one-minded, and they can't be always like that.
And Skeptic, she's a good sport. Sometimes she's the only liberal or person on the left. Skeptic, I'm gonna let you go next. Don't trample on the constitutional rights, all of that.
Yes, don't let anyone trample on your constitutional rights. I'm gonna go on TikTok here in a little bit. I haven't been doing a lot of lives because I'm super busy, but I'm gonna jump on Castle's live. So if anybody wants to join over, I'll be live for a little bit and just kind of talking over a lot of the same topics. I want to say we're talking about the history that's trying to be erased. So it'll be an interesting thing to kind of go and listen in on. And yeah, it's been a good, really good discussion. I appreciate everyone on the panel. Yeah, I don't really get my feelings hurt or anything. I just like, I'm lively like that. I'm always like this. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys for being a good sport, ladies. Mia, what's your closing thoughts, love?
My closing thoughts is this has been a really, really, really good episode. If you guys aren't following the new party, you need to follow New Party. You need to subscribe. Also, you need to follow me at It's Mia Not Maya. I'm on TikTok primarily. I am on YouTube, but I am on X. And before I finish, I think everybody should get this book, A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn. This literally tells the true history of the United States, all aspects of it. And I think everybody should have this and really should read this, because this tells you exactly what happened in the United States, even mentions the various revolts as well, because a lot of people don't understand back in the history, white people, black people, natives actually revolted against the ruling class. And a lot of people don't quite understand that. So definitely get this book and follow us.
And shout out to Mia. She's been getting reposted and retweeted by our buddy Anton Daniels, so shout out to her. Enzo, what's your closing thoughts? Oops. Okay.
So, like I always say, this was a good episode. We talked about a lot. This is a longer form episode. I like when it goes this long. We actually all get to get all of our thoughts out. Most importantly, we spoke about when it comes down to the censorship, there shouldn't be any censorship on the left and right. I call hypocrisy on that all the time, because the left, they don't, or no, I'm sorry, not hypocrisy on that. The left, like I've seen these lives where people just straight up spew misinformation all the time. I've gone into these lives multiple times and debated these people, and I have the facts literally to bring everything up right up my fingertips on my computers. I have the sources and everything like that. I've been canned too many times to count, even though I have sources, when people are blatantly spewing misinformation. So for Israel, wanting to censor anything is absolutely garbage, because we all know what's going on there. The world needs to step up and stop letting them have control of all this and control of the media. And that plays into what we were just talking about with pretty much erasing history. Skeptic, you made a good point that I agree with. Why are they not doing it at the Holocaust Museum? That's one of the biggest ones in my eyes. We shouldn't be just being American. America's great. America's never did anything wrong. We should look at our past, like I said before, and teach it the correct way. The problem is with everything in the world is history is written by the victor, not the losers. And that's the problem that we have. Whoever wins is the history that is written.
Yeah. It was great closing thoughts. Yeah, we had a lot of moments tonight where we drew the chairs closer together than apart. Let's come all our FBA. What's your closing thoughts? You just had to be a Black conservative. Now you can finally be yourself again. Apolitical.
Look, I told him on that panel too, I was apolitical. You feel me? But let's be honest, most of us Black Americans do lean more conservative values. That's a given. That's been known. All right. But I have the New Party channel pinned to the top of my chat. Y'all go check them out. Also hit the notification bell so you know when they go live. Also on my end, Kamal Johnson Network, sub on YouTube, and also hit the notification bell to know when I go live and shit like that. Today was great. Oh, I loved it. I know I came in late. I'm sorry, y'all, but today was magnificent. Oh my goodness. I love that we were able to debate and have different points of views. And it also showed that, like, hey, you coons out there, it's not only just Black people just be arguing with Black people. It's all groups. We just have all thinking and opinions. And when we come together, sometimes it gets spicy. You feel what I'm saying? Second, the Mexican Velma, appreciate you for coming on here. I did always thought Velma was like Mexican on the Scooby-Doo shit. I always thought that. So all right, for sure. And
thank you.
Yeah, and you said the Democrats was thinking. That was funny. Good Lord.
And, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, I like showers. That's
it. Next, not whom or where the hell Berber name is, whatever. He was lying through his filthy ass teeth. He was saying that people in Palestine and Gaza is not getting, the kids are not getting starved out. What the hell is he talking about? You feel me? And next thing is, damn it, John, you better not send me a MAGA hat. I know I was agreeing with Enzo a lot today. You feel me? Some of y'all might think, damn, is he turning the MAGA man?
Sending you one.
Do not send me the MAGA hat. I mean, if y'all send it, I'll put it up somewhere. You feel me? But
All for president.
but what I like about today's episode, like what Nora said, it seemed like it did bring us closer together because we had opposing viewpoints, but we came to like an understanding. And I like when the panel gets a little bit spicy, but we able to collectively come together and not blow up and be at each other necks and shit like that. You know what I mean? And with that being said, like I said, go follow the new party and stuff like that. Shout out to the chat. You feel me? Except for you dickheads in the chat that was saying that bull malarkey. Some of y'all are on some horse crap. I'm telling y'all right now. All right. Some of y'all, you better watch a damn mouse in the chat. God damn.
Yo, the chat is getting more and more lit with every episode we do.
Yeah, for real.
It was crazy last night. But guys, for everyone watching, hit that notification. All right, co-founder boss, go ahead. Take it away. I don't know. It won't let me click you. Hold on.
It did before, now it won't let him.
I know.
I know.
I do it myself. Y'all don't know, but Nora complains a lot. So like, I hear everybody saying that we want it longer. If y'all want it longer, we can definitely do it longer. And I'm definitely not trying to rough too much. So, but it was definitely a good episode. It's always good when people can get along. So thank you, Velma, for coming. We do this every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Like we always say on New Party, always vote.
Hell yeah. Hey, we got to clear this up, though, man. Gray and Skeptic, y'all take showers, right?
I smell good, let me tell you.
She looks like she smells good. Great.
I work
good.
with kids. I literally work with kids, and when they like come where I'm at, they're always like, "It smells so good in here." I'm like, "Yeah."
no, it was just certain people that I was like, "Wow, okay."
See, come on, the
We're
left.
just playing with you, Mom.
We don't have to do
for
like
real, I'm like, guys, there's
the
one.
left. And Skeptic, you may agree, we don't have to do petty insults, you know. We just
Oh my God.
Oh Lord, Gray.
Oh, Lord, please stop it.
That's right, Greg. That's right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, right. Oh
Yes.
Lord. So today was a good show. I mopped the floor earlier on our live, me and Gray. Shout out to everybody watching Monday through Thursday. We will be doing lunch with the new parties again at 12 noon. I'm off the floor. You know, we get stuff done. But nevertheless, shout out to the team. Thank you so much for that Mexican Velma for coming. God puts great people in your path. I met two great Mexicans, Velma and Skeptic. I'm just kidding.
Right.
It's all love. But nevertheless, we have more in common than we have different, guys. And that's what the point of the new party is. So shout out to the team. Thank you guys for another great show. Enzo, Mia, Kamal, Gray, Skeptic. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody that's not here from the Man Cave Show. We will be back Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's how we get down in presenting by diverse viewpoints from across America. So hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and y'all have a good night and God bless.